Welcome, friends, to Reality Test. What is reality testing, you may ask? Well, it's something we all do when we check our subjective or personal emotions, thoughts, and so forth against objective or fact-based reality. So here in Reality Test, we're going to be testing the castmate realities and the producer antics of our favorite reality TV shows against what we know as licensed psychologists about the reality off of our TVs. We hope you'll join us as we attempt to reality test. That's it. Thanks, y'all. Now check out our campy theme song.
Are you feeling stressed? Your head's all messed? Well, let's forget all the rest. Fuck it, we're blessed. Cause it's time to talk reality test. Come with us. Let's reality test.
Welcome to Reality Test. I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Dr. K. Feel free to check in and take a seat wherever you like, because we're actually taking a whoop-a-doop pivot and going to Salt Lake City, potentially. Is that where they are? They're in Utah.
Oh, yeah. They surely are in Utah. For a second, I was like, wait a minute, Salt Lake City? Or didn't that happen? And then, but then I understood your reference better, and that was very helpful.
Like, surprise, we're going backwards to a previous show. No. We were talking about Slomla, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and also Taylor Frankie Paul as Almost Bachelorette, because we started to talk about it last time, both of us not having actually seen the video that came out that really caused the firing, I suppose one could say. And so now that we can have a more informed conversation about what happened with Taylor Frankie Paul. And we're just going to have a little brief conversation today, a little brief episode pivot to talk about really modern events and mental health as it shows up in that connection of a series of a context. There it is, in that context. And we're going to do a check-in, but we're not going to do our reality check because, as we said, we're going to do that when we do our next Southern Charm episode. Our Southern Charm episode, we also decided actually fits as maybe taking a beat and pause because we did have the first part of the reunion. I don't know if they'll have 3, but I think at least when we have 2 parts, it'll be more in content to discuss than just the one part.
Excellent. Oh, look at that kitty.
I know, isn't he cute? This is the first time you've been here with this kitty. Oh,
he's on the move. Cute.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Chowder? Or is this your other kitty? Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. He's gotten so big, right?
Such a big boy.
Oh, he's so cute, so well behaved.
That's right. Chowder's more fluffy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's really white, like buff. I mean, buff. He's very white buff, and this one is more of like an orangish buff. But they're both blonde. They're my blonde boys. Yeah. Hey,
boop, babies.
He's never been in my chair while I'm like not just recording, but in a meeting. It's so cute. Did you hear Dr. Ray's voice? Huh? You hear Dr. Ray's voice?
Nice, kitty. Oh, it's your baby. It's your baby.
You have to watch the video. I actually got my computer back on track to be able to use the editing software, so videos are forthcoming. Woo woo.
Yay!
The one thing that's a bummer is that I had part of why I've been held up is because actually the next video should be from the episode I did solo dolo, because it's the episode where I have clips from the episodes plural. It's honestly the whole season of Beverly Hills, Salt Lake City, fucking Housewives, which took me forever to tape these little clips. And now those videos are all on the computer that died. And then I figured out how to take out the the memory disk, and it is not being read by my memory disk reader. So I can't get it. I can't even get the memory off my computer, even if the computer has no battery and no charge port. So we're in a weird hold still, cold stand. We're in a standstill.
Cold hand still.
Exactly. So that means I probably will just skip that episode. So at least we have some more videos coming out on our Patreon. And over time, I could just retake some clips from that. And then that will also recontextualize my episode a little bit. Although people listen to it even without it. So that's nice. Thank you all. With that in mind, why don't we check in? So what is on your heart and mind today, dear Dr. A?
What is on my heart and mind today? I've had an interesting week professionally. Lots of learning and growing. And I'm grateful for my coworkers, including Dr. K, who we came together on a very, very rough Monday. Yes. And it was not a drill.
No,
and
I'm going to interrupt too, because you sometimes do this for me as well. But I wanted to say that Dr. Ray kicked ass and honestly didn't need her coworkers. That you really had that in the bag. And so, but then what's cool is part of how you had it in the bag was to consult with people in a way that other leaders should always do and don't do in our setting. And so I think you really nailed the fuck out of that. And I was so impressed and really loved watching you shine. I don't think there's honestly, like, really, there was never, I've said this to you multiple times and I really mean it. It was not placating. Like, you really, really did such a beautiful job. You're a great leader. You know?
You're a great leader too, my love.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Lucky to have you.
You know, same. Okay, now you can continue, but don't be hard on yourself. I mean, you can if you want, but I just want you to know that you did fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
weird week, hard week, not because of you. Hard week, and you handled it well because none of it had to do with you. Yeah,
it's hard week. Things to learn, quality improvement. Hindsight's 2020. It's always fun to armchair quarterback. And, you know, there are reasons that decisions get made and things get done, but, you know, we can only look forward and improve. And I'm sure humbled and grateful. And I'll take it. I had some moments maybe that things were de-escalated, but also some very good moments to learn from in the future. So holding all of those things.
Yeah. And that's the main thing. If we can just learn from it, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like my dad always said, what can we learn from this? Okay, what can we learn from this? And that's sort of like the voice I have in my head when I make mistakes. And I think it's like repair and learn, and that's it. And you didn't have anybody to repair to because you didn't make any of that kind of relational error. And so just learning from it sounds about right to me.
Well, thanks, love. How are you doing this week?
Good. I'm in my trader's hood, which is pink because it's a sweatshirt I have that's pink, but it looks like a trader's hood, so I'm wearing it, and I am still going for that. I'm like really hoping because I think I'd kill it. I mean, honestly, like the whole piece is like we are constantly talking on here about like what motivates players and like how they're thinking and how to like be relational in these settings. And I feel like that's something that not only would be really fun to do and something I can do, but also like a good modeling for people like on the audience side of things too, and sort of thinking about conflict resolution and so forth in a very exciting cutthroat game. Also, I can be a good trader. I feel like I'd be a great swing. Start out as a faithful and get recruited to be a trader. That's my platform. That's my platform. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Be incredible.
Thank you so much.
And I think there's a second round pick in our midst. And
yes,
if you're listening, Traders Casting, Dr. K would be incredible. And you gotta get her on ASAP because she will make your show better. So please do so.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Yeah, anybody I've told, I've started just fucking telling people. Like, I told multiple students. They were like, you'd be so good. I'm like, thank you so much. I need to hear it. Apparently, I'm getting, like ready for them to call me. So I'm like, I'll just tell someone else so they can tell me I'll do well. So I don't have to wait for the casting director to call me. But yeah, no, it's actually very sweet. So I think it will be fun if it's possible. And if not, that's okay. And also, they hold on to your information for future casting. Because one of the things that happens is like they're creating a group. And we do this too with like creating a cohort when we admit students, that like they're creating a group of a cohort to be in a season. So it's possible I just don't fit with that image or that total group. And so it's possible also I won't get a phone call just because it might turn out they already accepted the other people to take those spots that are left. But if that is the case, first of all, I won't be offended. But also it means that they could call me in a future year too, which is exciting. So I'm in the mix either way.
You are in the mix. Yes.
My cat
and
is
they should,
a lot
but
right now.
They should pick you for this season because you will be fucking awesome.
I agree. That'll be awesome. And hopefully this will be a successful season. I mean, it's their first one on NBC. And given that it's their first one with all lay people, I really do hope it's successful. Obviously, there would be no chance for me to get the future season if it's the only layperson season. So I do hope it does well. But also for their sake, it's a great show. And I love Alan Cumming. I love the idea of having an actor as a host because that's just such a different experience. And I think he does such a great job. And I love the, outfits, costumes, and the way he holds himself in them. It's just so fun. It's a great show. My cat is going hog on the fucking ranch today. I don't know what's up. He's so cute, but he's like rubbing all around on the equipment on me. Are you thinking I'm gonna be a good trader? That's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Good bonus
he
grandma.
Says I'm gonna miss my mommy when she's on Traders.
Yeah, he's gonna forget about me, and that's okay. You'll remember me when I come back.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that so sweet? He's like being really sweet right now. He says, "Hi, baby." Yes. I know, it's just it's a funny platform to have. It's like, I can be a trader, I'm a psychologist, I'm not going to tell anyone I'm a psychologist, so that's like a secret, but then I'm also bonus grandma at like looking very young. I think I look younger than I am as well, so I'm going to say I'm 30 or something. And same as school teacher. Hopefully no one who ends up being on the cast listens to us. they're like,
I know.
they're like, oh, a
You
school
never
teacher.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a fun plot twist.
That
but
would.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I know.
For
Someone
your
else we know
gameplay.
is also applying to be on it.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow, fascinating.
I know. Hi, Kat. Okay, sorry, he's on the keys. So I do think it would be interesting to see if he gets cast. I like him, so it's not anything personal, but I think it could be interesting too, and also it might not be. It's a different, let's just say we have different platforms. Say that.
Well,
Yeah.
I am very hopeful that, I would hope it would be you.
Come
And
here.
you're a psychologist. It's a different intersection that
It
you
is.
would be bringing to the chat. Maybe they'll bring you both on.
Yep, totally. Yeah, I hope if they let them on, they also let me on. That'd be great, just for multiple reasons. And also, yeah, that would be cool. It'd be cool to know someone already. Obviously, we probably wouldn't tell anyone we know each other, but yeah, no, I think there's like something to be said about that as well. There's things he also would be very good at understanding how production works. And I also, from being background in theater, have that sort of as well. But then, yeah, the psychologist part is what makes me unique. And I definitely think it's cool because I can tell a story, a narrative, and then be a good narrator, but then also I can understand the dynamics happening and name them, which is something that really is not always the case every season. So that'd be fun. Just let me at him.
Let me at him, player.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right. Like, I'm a psychologist. Would I be able to lie? Like, yeah, I think we have to keep secrets for our job as a matter of law. Like, we have to,
Yes.
like we were actually required by law to keep shit secret, even when it's like really rich or, it doesn't matter. Like, we have to be able to do that. So I can keep secrets well. And that involves lying, unfortunately. So as much as we use our lying for good, and I would be doing that in the case of the traders, the good in the case of the traders would be the money for my family. And also ideally to, have a baby myself. So I think that those are good things. Those are worth it. Even though I'm sorry
Very
for
worth it.
people that might suffer from it. But no.
They'll be okay. It's informed consent. They're going on the show. They know what the show is about. And I think you'd be incredible.
Thank you so much. Let's check in. So, I mean, with our mental health hats in mind, actually, let's turn our eye to Taylor Frankie Paul, which is one of the saddest things and like so heavy and bodily activating, like physiologically activating, upsetting and triggering. So why don't we do a little trigger warning right here? So if you have any experiences with domestic violence or violence towards children, any sort of abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, I would say maybe don't listen at all. I don't even think I would skip ahead, but certainly also that means I would avoid other stuff online about Taylor Frankie Paul because that's really the entire conversation. So, right. So she's a character on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is a show you've seen. Tell me about it.
I saw the first couple episodes and I remember thinking, and I don't often think this because I tend to work from a non-pathologizing lens, but I was like, if I was a psychologist who diagnosed borderline personality disorder, her behavior would maybe meet that criteria from what I saw, just in the way that she was acting and the impulsivity and the idealizing, devaluing kind of stuff. So I don't know. It was hard to watch, to be honest with you, because I was like, this is a person. I feel like, yes, on reality TV, there is like a threshold of people who are within the realm of like well or not well. And I think this takes it to the nth degree, right? Like, I think she's outside of the window of like someone who is well enough to be on screen is what I felt watching the show. I did not like it. I did not like watching her in that space.
No.
And I was really
you did say that, by the way.
surprised.
Last time I said that. Do you remember I said that? And I was like, I don't know. I'm sure you did, but I didn't know you meant, do you remember saying that she's unwell? Because I do remember you saying that very well. Yes, absolutely. And I thought in the moment you meant, I said that she was not going to be on it or something, like that you had guessed this was going to happen. But
Yeah.
even that I would have believed you had said too. And maybe you did say a version of that because of what you did say for sure that I remember too, which is that she's quite unwell and shouldn't be on reality TV. And frankly, it's like not just for her sake. It's like the producers it's not just for those of us watching and everyone else's sake and her family's sake. It's also for her sake because the producers are like they're capitalizing. They're like, extorting her, and it's really sad. And I don't think it's appropriate on their behalf. As we said last time, the producers knew she had domestic violence. What changed, if anyone didn't hear it elsewhere, is that a video was put out by Dakota, the guy with whom she has a very toxic relationship. He put a video out right before the week of the premiere of Bachelorette season, and it was a video from the fight we already knew about that led to her getting domestic violence charges. And in it, she was throwing metal stools at him. I mean, she's punching and kicking him, and then he's like calling it out as it's happening and saying this is abuse. He's videotaping it. She sees he's taping it with his phone, and then she starts throwing stools at him with knowing her daughter's like a foot away on the couch. He moves so that the daughter is between them. That is a choice, by the way, which, like, not to say like whatever, but like it is, you know, both of them terrible. They should not have been in that space. You know, she was really, really wasted, as we know also from the body cam footage. And doesn't make any excuse at all. And also that poor sweet baby girl. I mean, her immediate comment when the cops come back in is, "Where's mommy?" I mean, she doesn't see at all how this is dangerous for her. So one of the times the stool is thrown, it hits her in the head, and she ended up with a goose egg on her head, said the file. Mm-hmm. Yeah, said the police report. They didn't know the stool hit her based on what the reports were from the parents. And so they then had to call back the mom at like 1 a.m. that night and ask her to go check on the granddaughter, saying, like, we didn't know before, but a stool hit her in the head. Can you make sure she doesn't have a concussion? It looks different for kids. Yeah.
So disturbing. Mm-hmm. The video I saw, you could hear her screaming like mommy as Taylor Frankie Paul is throwing a chair. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see anything. I didn't see the kid, but hearing that, like, it was like, oh my God, like, I cannot believe this. Yeah. I can't believe this. And it's honestly, before that, she shouldn't have been on the show, in my opinion. Like, why do we excuse that behavior? It's like,
if it was from a man, no way, right? I mean, I think.
Right. It's like, oh, she's just a little woman. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's something about it that is sexist. But seeing that enter the chat, it was quite disturbing. I wouldn't recommend watching the video unless you are in a space where you can tolerate something that's going to be pretty upsetting. Yeah. The child scream. I mean, partway through the video, the camera goes black. So I think he probably either put it in his pocket or on the floor. So you just hear the volume. So that's when you hear her scream out to her. And I mean, I think it's the kind of thing where it's like when your parents are fighting or your mom's screaming when you were a kid, that you yell out to them to stop by trying to appeal to them. And even saying, like, I love you, please stop. Like, that's, very common for kids to say when their parents are like that, in that mode, and to try to get her to come back to center. But, like, ultimately that doesn't change how much her daughter trusts her and loves her and wants her to be home. So, like, that means that she's going to be in a situation where her mom's going to be able to keep doing that into her and around her, and it'll normalize it. And I think one of the cops said on the body camera footage on one of the videos that he told her, Taylor Frankie Paul, that this is the kind of stuff that her kids are going to be getting therapy for 20 years, Yeah, it's like, that's actually pretty attuned just to that situation. So, I mean, just awful to think about the implications for the child, and also just in the dyadic relationship, it's really unhealthy. And I think that's part of the issue. What happened? She had slept with him. Did you hear that? She slept with Dakota like the day before she left for filming. Fucking course she did. Yeah. They have such a toxic, and then of course he released that, like, and then she came out and said, like, of course he released it then. I'm used to him ruining every single premiere I've ever had, like, he tries to get in the chat right before she's like, so, because then he's more famous too, like, but doesn't excuse it. Doesn't excuse it at all. Doesn't excuse her behavior. He too is awful, and like doesn't excuse her behavior. Nope. Like, that is so scary. Yeah. It was really hard to watch that video, and just, it's one thing to hear about something like that, but it's I think another thing to watch it and listen to it. It was not good. Yeah. And that's what made the producers, I think, realize that they couldn't come back from it finally, because it's like, you shouldn't have been able to come back from it before. Everyone was telling you this is not the right person for you, pick somebody else. But, like, I think the idea, the, like, general sentiment was like, maybe she got help and she's okay and she's gonna be okay to be on the show. But then the season of Slomla, the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the season was showing people that she wasn't, she was in actually very much still the same dynamic with Dakota leading up to the finale, to the premiere of the show, and leaving for the premiere. And he also turned out had slept with a bunch of her friends. I mean, he was sleeping with a bunch of her friends, and then she was like trying to like convince herself that she still matters the most to him. And I think that's sort of why she came back to him, So, like, even just thinking about the relational dynamics there, like, that's very toxic. That's very abusive as well, different kind, but that's also very abusive, emotionally abusive of him. And really sad, disappointing about her friends. I don't know if she really has friends. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I get the sense that these are not real friends of hers, and I think she's not, acting. She's not in a stable enough place to be a really solid friend for other people. I think she's probably in a survival mode,
like permanently speaking, such that she's constantly thinking about herself, which probably just comes across as selfish, but likely also is her being in survival mode. Like for me, the behaviors that you're referring to as potentially being BPD would mean complex trauma to me, and so I would work on the complex trauma with her. And I think that means that it looks right. It looks very like manipulative is a word people use about that kind of behavior, or like attention seeking and selfish and self-centered. And right, for me, it's like she's in survival mode, so she's doing what she can to get her needs met, and it's coming out awful, destructive. And then the abuse is like repetition of trauma. I mean, I can't imagine what her household was like as a kid too, you know.
Ugh. Yeah, exactly. There has to be a history of something there. Her mom was on the show, and I'm trying to think.
Are they divorced? Because one came to the house to get the kids, and he kept saying, "Go home, I'm taking the kids." So that sounded like he's going somewhere else. Yeah.
That would make sense. So, yeah, there's at the very least like that divorce trauma there. And yeah. The mom seemed kind of shaming and blaming. If I remember, I'd have to go back into my arsenal of like that show that I watched. And I have to say, the show is not that good. I didn't quite like it.
I watched one episode and I was like, I'm out. I don't need it.
Yeah. It was like, this is really toxic and really bad. And I also don't like this and don't like to see this.
Yeah. And if her mom's shaming and blaming, that does have a huge impact on kids. I mean, they're going to think, I mean, you could tell there was a lot of like her while wasted being like, is this bad? Did I do something bad? Is this illegal? Is this illegal? Like, you know, she's doing a lot of like checking on her image from the cop's perspective. And so she was in that dynamic with her mom, and her mom was constantly shaming and blaming. Right. She's going to learn she is a bad person. So then she's going to reify that. I mean, it becomes reinforced, I guess.
Right. Yeah. She's almost childlike in the way she comports herself at times.
Very childlike. Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
Well, Bachelor, I'm glad you cut it, but like probably shouldn't have happened in the first place.
No, ma'am. And like also to her, like I really hope she does get psychological help and maybe substance abuse help, obviously too. It sounds like that's a big part of the problem. But the reason that substances are a problem is because she's self-medicating something that really needs treatment, you know. And so maybe if she had trauma treatment, it would be different with substances as well. But I think she needs trauma work, some serious years worth of trauma work. And trauma work is hard. You get worse before you get better. You know, it takes real time and effort and soul. It takes a lot of soul. It takes a lot out of you. And I think that's needed. And then she can sort of have time to recover after that for a while and then kind of come back onto the scene. But I think the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives shouldn't film with her anymore. I think the show shouldn't exist anymore because I thought it was bad anyway. But without her, I think without her too, people are like, well, it'd still be good without her. I don't care, because if it's not with her, they're going to have another person who rises up in that same dynamic. I mean, the whole point is this whole Mormon wives issue is a bigger issue. You know, like they're taught, we're watching this on Salt Lake City as well. They're taught to put their husbands before their kids. They're taught, you know, there's certain things they're taught they're not as good because they're a woman, and they're taught gay is not okay. You know, really these things that Mormonism teaches people that really gets deep rooted, and then it becomes traumatizing. That alone is traumatizing. So I think there's just got to be a whole handful of them that are struggling, and we don't see it.
Yeah, it seems like a very hard religion that reinforces this black and white, all good or all bad sort of way of being in the world. That is traumatizing in itself.
Yeah, and leads to idealizing, devaluing. I mean, I think that's the same issue. And like thinking about her mom being shaming and blaming also leads to idealizing, devaluing black and white, like literally too, because they're also really racist. So
exactly. Yeah, it is a fucking fucked up show. And the fact that she's the main character, she needs help. She doesn't need more attention right now. That sounded different. I didn't mean like, attention-seeking behavior. No. I mean like public attention.
Right. Yeah, we don't need to be paying attention to her. Let her do her thing, get help. Yeah. Yeah.
Recover. Maybe get away from this Dylan guy, because I don't think he's it.
Oh, Dakota.
Her. Dakota.
Yeah.
Who's Dylan?
I don't know.
Did I make up a Dylan?
What? I bet there's a Dylan. I don't know.
There's probably a Dylan out there. I've heard of there being Dylans.
There are Dylans. I've heard that name as well. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Dylan involved in the mix. I mean, there's just so much going on. There's so many people, and there's so many issues. Did you hear about the thing with Harry Jowsey?
No.
So they had like a party for like everyone that was on. I think it was from being on Call Your Daddy, because that's where he's connected to right now. And so she was on it as well at one point. So I think there was a party, and then they were fighting. She and Dakota were fighting, and they were fighting so seriously and severely that Harry said, I had to leave. Like, I was really uncomfortable. Like, that was really bizarre. I was uncomfortable. And we know that Harry Jowsey like starts drama. He's a guy who's kind of hard to make uncomfortable in weird situations. That said, I wouldn't say we know he's okay with domestic violence. Like, I don't think we've seen him like watch a fight. So like, I get that he likes to start drama, but that doesn't mean he's like not super sensitive also to like domestic violence.
Right.
So, but that said, the point is he's supposed to be supposedly he's hardened and still was very bothered by it. But yeah, so he left because they said it was too uncomfortable.
Wow. Yeah, the way that they go at it and their seemingly inability to kind of stop finding each other. They're in a pretty rough cycle that they both need a lot of help.
Yeah, right. Because the other thing is substances for both of them too. You're right. It's like I only brought it up for her, but it is for both. And apparently Harry said that too. He's like, I drink as many as the next, and like, but I'm not doing that, you know. But it's clear that he knew also it was substance fueled. Yeah,
it's so sad.
I know. It's like so. Ooh. Oh, that reminds me. I remember how I was like, I just got excited. Remember how I told you that there are the different kinds of drunks? And I was like, one is morose or whatever. Okay. So.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, it is actually perfect. Exactly. It's actually perfect because it's exactly what we're talking about. So I will just do that. And I will tell you right now, because I did finally find it. Honestly, it was really hard to find, which I was shocked by because I feel like I've heard that expression so many times. But I did find finally the whole thing. So part of the thing is it's actually not supposed to be different kinds of drunks. It originally came up as different stages of drinking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So everybody goes through all of these is the implication. Interesting, right? I was sort of like, I get that. Like, so the other
and then I take a sip of my drink. Wow.
That's funny. I don't blame you though. It makes sense. We're doing that. We drink on the pod. And actually today I just happened to be having a seltzer, but normally I'd be drinking with you. So I'm with you. Fabulous. Okay. So the idea is that it's stages, but what I was going to say that's scientific that we know for sure, for example, is that it's bimodal, which means that when you drink, there is an uptick in energy and stimulation and therefore activation. So you are happier when you first start drinking. And that's why you keep drinking, because you want to stay up there, because it's actually very short lived, because all of a sudden you have a dip, and the dip is the second mode. So bimodal. Second mode is the depression. And so then that goes down. And so that's why alcohol is depressive, even though people are like, alcohol makes you feel good. I don't know what you mean. The other reason alcohol makes people feel good is because it shuts off your judgment brain. And so if it's shutting off your judgment brain, you're also not as hard on yourself. And so if you're being told your whole life that you suck and your parents are blaming you, turning off your judgment brain is going to keep you from telling yourself that too. And so then it's going to calm you right down. Be a lot more pleasant way to be in the world. And so that's totally understandable how that becomes a self-medication of sorts. So with that in mind, here's what I would say. Even though these are stages of intoxication, apparently, I would still say that they could still be seen as like, where do people generally fall? Like, do they tend to do one of these more than the other as well? So let's just say that. It actually comes from an article called Personality Traits of Alcohol Addicts. It's from the Quarterly Journal of Studies on Alcohol from 1946. Okay. That's why this is not easy to find. It's old as hell. So these stages of intoxication, according to this study: Jocose, which means playful. So jocose, the early stage where the drinker is humorous, friendly, and engaging. The second one is verbose, which is wordy, often characterized by talkativeness, telling stories, enjoying the sound of their own voice. Morose, that's the next one, morose, which is gloomy. So suddenly it's sullen, depressed, or emotional instability. Bellicose, that's the aggressive one. Okay, bellicose, the stage where a drinker becomes belligerent, looking for arguments or fights. This is where we would see her living in a lot of cases. Then there's lachrymose, which is weepy, a stage sometimes included where the drinker becomes emotional or cries. We also saw a lot of lachrymose in those body cam videos. And the last one, kind of funny enough, is comatose. The final stage results in passing out.
Yep.
So, but just put together, if you just were to say those words, it's jocose, verbose, morose, bellicose, lachrymose, and comatose.
I feel silly because 3 of those words I've never heard before.
Yeah. Lachrymose? No fucking way. No.
Jocose.
Jocose I've heard.
I like that word.
Yeah.
Jocose?
Yeah,
That's
jocose.
how you say it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Jocose. Lachrymose I've never heard.
It sounds
Yeah.
It sounds like Harry Potter potions.
It does. Yeah. Lacrimose is bizarre as hell as a word and definitely sounds like a luminaria or whatever the fuck. I think I actually think I've heard every other one except for lacrimose. I have heard bellicose. That was one of my SAT words. I remember that. Morose we hear pretty regularly. Verbose we hear a lot. Jocose I knew, and comatose. So yeah. So lacrimose is my one that I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows that. Chat us. Send us an email if you've heard of lacrimose and in what context. Maybe it was your SAT word or GRE word or something. Yeah. Because otherwise, when it's such a no longer used. Yeah. What was that one too? Was that the weepy one? Lacrimose is weepy. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it has a
I'm sticking with jocose because that's my new favorite word.
Yeah, jocose is good. Yeah, funny, happy, cheerful. Humorous, friendly, and engaging.
That's the best part of drinking when you get to that phase. After that, it's all
and you know what that phase downhill. Is? That phase is tipsy. That's not even drunk. That's like when you're tipsy, and that's why you keep drinking to try to stay up there. But eventually, you're not going to be able to stay up there, so you just keep drinking, and suddenly you're already on the downswing, and you're an asshole. Yeah. So technically, that's why I drink champagne often, because it is a lot harder to get wasted on champagne. You can try to stay in that sort of bubbly place a little bit longer.
I like to do that too. The problem is when I start drinking martinis, but I only try to drink one of those at any given time.
Exactly.
If I drink more than one, it's just not fun. Because anymore, I just can't do it the next day. I can enjoy it, but then the next day I'm like, oh, why did I do that? It's not that fun.
I know our bodies don't love it anymore. I'm not 22 anymore. But I would also say that I don't think I ever really get bellicose. I think there are certain people, I think the reason I don't is because I do go to bed. If I'm at a certain point, I'm like, fuck it. So I never really get comatose. I mean, by the way, not to say I never have, but in my regular, way of being in the world nowadays, I tend to not get to that stage. I can definitely get to the what is the other one that was before? Yeah, hearing the sound of my own voice. I'm sure I could do that. I also have gotten to the sullenness one before as well, but not not so much. Yeah, the bellicose. But lacrimose, weepy, sure. I've cried. I mean, I think sometimes because that's the other thing that can happen is because you don't have your judgment brain on track, you don't put together the dots. It's a little bit harder. So then you hear something negative and you think that's the end of the world or whatever it might be.
Right. I definitely know some. What is the picking fight ones? I know bellicose. Some drunks like that. That's bellicose. I know. Yeah. And it's not, you can just see it in their eyes that they're just looking. And it's just why is this how you want to spend your free time? It's just not it.
Exactly. I have an interpretation. Maybe it's that these are the stages of drinking, but how people, what stage they're trying to drink to get to is probably different based on different people. And so people that need, for example, to get their aggression out in a pro-social, quote-unquote pro-social way because they can't get it out in their daily life, maybe they drink to get to that stage. And so when they get to that stage, they stay there because that's actually what they're internally at least needing is to get their aggression out somehow. And then people who need to cry or, it's maybe our drinking patterns are ways of us getting out something we're not getting out in our daily life emotionally. And so that's why it looks more like personality traits. But technically we all go through the different stages. I don't know.
I like it. I think it makes sense to me. Yeah, because I've certainly been an angry drunk before. I tend not to get there as much anymore because unfortunately you have to learn your patterns when you get into your 30s.
Yep, your limits as well. You're I'll stick to seltzers and if I do shots, I'll do 2 or, have a cocktail, I'll have 1 an hour.
I can't do shots anymore. I really can't. It's too much on the old bod.
Not bad.
Maybe I'll try. I'll try.
Not bad for you to not. I mean, they make shots that they mix. It's we don't need to shoot 151 anymore.
That's or vodka. Or what was that disgusting vodka I drank before?
The classic bottle stuff.
The Kolmogrov, the $4 Russian vodka we get at the gas station
in the big plastic bottle.
Growing up. Yeah. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Oh my God. Yeah. I have total flashbacks to some silly things at 18. It's once we became legal enough to drink, I think, or legal enough. Jesus. Once we became 21, either it meant we'd buy things at the gas station because we're poor and they would be bad, or at least it was we had a little more freedom to get something else. I mean, I remember we would drink whatever we got our hands on if we didn't have our IDs, So
I didn't give a shit. Yeah. I just. $4 wine, I'll drink the bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
As my pregame. It's just absurd behavior all the time.
And I think it is changing because our generations were so different in terms of even just think so nowadays these kiddos have video connections with each other. They don't have to be at each other's house to have fun and to be around each other. So there's just a lot less of it. Like, people are driving less. They get their licenses less often than our generation. As soon as we had the ability to, we got our license and we were leaving because we had to go somewhere to see people. But now they can see people more easily. There's a little less need for that. So that means there's also less need for parties, which means there's also less need for peer pressure, which means there's also less need for, alcohol. It's good.
For all this, yeah. It's kind of sad, honestly. I mean, I'm glad people's health is better, but like, damn.
I don't know. They don't know what they're missing out on, probably. But there's also some good things that they are missing out on. Some of the like date rape stuff and, aggression. And so hopefully that means we're actually maybe, like, if we had a stoner generation, maybe that's coming, or maybe we were that or something. I don't know. But the stoner generation would be a lot less violent. So.
Yes, I think so. It's hard to get. I think weed makes you more violent if you're not that good at weed, kind of like, or kind of like people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it get violent? Well,
no, they get violent on themselves. That tends to be more, I think there's a lot of ruminating that can happen with weed. So I would say much less other focused, that drug.
Exactly. Much less other focused. And I would also say, similar to alcohol, weed is a depressant, but there isn't really the up as much. It's like pretty much just like going down. And so like, if that person is hard on themselves when they are smoking weed, they're probably also hard on themselves when they get to that phase of drinking, because it's probably a depressive, position that they're in sometimes. Oh, so sad. Substances, y'all. This is all very related. It's very related to Taylor Frankie Paul, and also hopefully we also inspired you all. That'll be our call out for today. Our call to you is, if you'd like to write an email to us and tell us about how you tend to find, whether you have a different theory on what it is about these stages, or if you find that there's a stage you particularly feel drawn to when you drink or something. And we'd love to hear it. We'll share it. We'll create a little like unofficial study. Like, see how many we get for each one. And then also next time we'll be talking about Southern Charm Reunion. So there's plenty more to be said about alcohol and substances with that group.
Surely is. Abso-freaking-lutely. And how they're used to maybe not cope with people's own. Oh, and anger. Yes, more to say about anger with that.
Bellicose use of alcohol. Yes, Craig.
Yep.
Bellicose use of alcohol.
Absolutely.
And I would say, like, honestly, most of that group is pretty jocose in their drinking. I think Austin can also become bellicose too, which is why the two of them end up fighting. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And Austin can get, maybe he can feel quite sorry for himself too.
Yeah, the sullen one. Yeah, the morose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, Craig is quick to anger. That's for damn sure.
So we'll check back in with y'all next week about that, and look forward to hearing from you if you'd like. Our email that you would send those things to is realitycheck, CHECK, realitycheckpodding, PODDING, @gmail.com. You can also check out our, yes please, you can also check out our Patreon at our patreon.com/realitytest. If you go to their like search bar, you can put @reality test, and that's how you'll find us. If you just put reality test, it's kind of hard to find us. So @reality test, that's how you get to our Patreon. That's where our audio episodes are released early the night before. And then also our videos will be soon arriving again for the last few episodes. But normally those are also weekly. Those come out like on a Wednesday-ish or something. And then you will find that we have some other like goodies on there that are still on there from before, and we will also be updating regularly, as you will find, about things like mental health checkups and so forth. It's only $5 a month. $5 a month, and you get access to this. And then the first, a handful of the first few will also get a free year membership. And also it's like 30, the first 30 will get shout outs. We've already shout out. It's not the first 30 because we've already done a couple of people's worth, but more come. The other thing too is that I also understand, like I talked last time about my absolute income nightmare. I was talking with a client recently who was really in the same exact boat, and they're making the most money they've ever made and still having a hard time staying afloat. So I think this is just one of those times where we're all struggling, it's like financially. And so that's totally understandable. But if you have enough, if you want to give up a coffee a month, if you have the funds, definitely, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And if you don't have the funds, please don't do that. But it would be great if you have enough to be able to do sacrifice of, a coffee a month. You're also going to find us on things like Instagram at Reality Test Podcast, but then on Facebook and YouTube at Reality Test Pod. Dr. Ray and I both have Instagrams as well. Dr. Ray Pods at Dr. Ray Pods for Dr. Ray, at Dr. K Pods for Dr. K.
And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell all your friends.
Woo! And then hi to those friends that came because your friends told you about it. Now you can go and tell your friends, and you know, if you're from, actually, we have a little bit of a following coming from our own student folk. Oh my God. My cat is on the roof outside. How did he get outside? I swear to God, I'm looking at him right now through the window. I wonder if I can show you. Hold on.
Oh shit. Holy shit.
You see him up there?
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? He's like peeking his little head out at me.
It's a poop.
How did he get up there? Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God.
I know.
I can't.
All of a sudden I look over there with my little buddy's head. All right, I should probably go get him, and he's looking around trying to get down. Okay, so we will see you all next session. I think everybody should go. I love you, and we'll see you all next session. Student folk, tell your friends it's okay. We're okay with you guys knowing. Tell each other, join us, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.